Weekly MMA Recap. UFC President Dana White has confirmed that Conor McGregor will be part of UFC 200 to defend his featherweight belt, but who will he defend it against hasn't been announced yet. Will it be former featherweight champion Jose Aldo, or will it be top featherweight Frankie Edgar? Both fighters have been campaigning to get a fight against Conor McGregor. UFC President Dana White said on ESPN, the fight that hasn't happened that a lot of fans want to see is Conor McGregor versus Frankie Edgar for the 145-pound title. But the UFC officials haven't announced anything yet. UFC 200 will take place July 9th in the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. Former UFC welterweight champion George St Pierre made a rare appearance attending UFC 196. His coach Firas Zahabi said that George St Pierre was very impressed with Nate Diaz's performance and he is interested in a fight between George St Pierre and Nate Diaz. George St Pierre has been rumoured considering a comeback after his long break away from fighting. He last fought Johnny Hendricks at UFC 167 and won by split decision in 2013. Prior to UFC 196, Nate Diaz wanted a fight with George St Pierre and mentioned he only wanted big fights moving forward. With both sides interested, Nate Diaz may get his wish and get a fight with George St Pierre, maybe at UFC 200. UFC President Dana White said UFC 196 did 1.5 million buys. Nate Diaz has exceeded his brother Nick Diaz in popularity following his win at UFC 196 against the UFC featherweight champion Conor McGregor. Nate Diaz said on Extra TV that if Justin Bieber walked up to him, he would get slapped. Following his loss to Nate Diaz at UFC 196, Conor McGregor has taken a massive hit in the pound-for-pound rankings. Conor McGregor posted this on his Instagram after his fight against Nate Diaz. "I don't say hard luck, I say well done. It was a heck of a fight, a heck of a check, and a heck of a party afterwards." During a Fox interview, UFC Women's Bantamweight champion Miesha Tate said that she hasn't decided if she wants to wait for former champion Ronda Rousey till October-November time. Miesha Tate's coach wants her to defend her title at UFC 200. Holly Holm is back in the gym practicing her defense from a rear naked choke. She also wants another shot at Miesha Tate. She said, "I gave you a shot, now give me a shot. I'm not gonna let you choke me out again." UFC broadcaster John Anik keeps his promise and gets a 209 tattoo. Both Kat Zingano and Sarah McMahon want a shot at the new champion. Mike Tyson predicts that Ronda Rousey will defeat UFC bantamweight champion Miesha Tate in their rematch. UFC lightweight champion Rafael dos Anjos said if the UFC needed somebody to fight UFC welterweight champion Robbie Lawler, he would step up and fight him. Both Ken Shamrock and Kimbo Slice failed their drug tests for Bellator 149. Gegard Mousasi wants to fight Anderson Silva at UFC 199 or UFC 200. Tim Kennedy also wants to fight Anderson Silva. Mauricio Shogun Rua is out of his fight against Rashad Evans for UFC on Fox 19 due to injury. Glover Teixeira has stepped up as a late replacement. Donald Cerrone wants to fight George St Pierre at UFC 200. UFC strawweight Joanna Jędrzejczyk thinks she has already broken her opponent Claudia Gadelha. UFC heavyweight Matt Mitrione has had an offer from Bellator MMA and wants UFC to match the offer. Newly signed Bellator fighter Chris Lieben won't be making his debut in the promotion anytime soon, as doctors have discovered a life-threatening abnormality in his heart. UFC strawweight Paige Van Zandt joins the cast of Dancing with the Stars. Felipe Oliveri has failed his drug test for UFC on Fox 18. Justin Scoggins is out of his bout against Ben Nguyen due to injury. Justin Gaethje defeated Brian Foster by TKO Leg Kicks at 1 minute 43 seconds of the first round at World Series of Fighting 29. Angela Hill defeated Stephanie Eggink by knockout at 2 minutes 36 seconds of the second round at Invicta FC 16. Rumoured bouts. Ruslan Magomedov is out of his bout against Gabriel Gonzaga due to injury. Rumours are that UFC is currently in talks with Derek Lewis to step up and face Gabriel Gonzaga at UFC Fight Night 86. Fights announced this week. Abel Trujillo is out of his bout against Ross Pearson due to visa issues. Now Chad LaPriest will face Ross Pearson at UFC Fight Night 85. Nick Hine vs John Tuck has been announced for UFC Fight Night 87. Rustem Khabilov will replace injured Rashid Magomedov against Chris Wade at UFC Fight Night 87. Omari Akhmedov vs Alizu Zaleski has been announced for UFC on Fox 19. Thank you for watching this week's weekly MMA recap. Stay tuned for next week's MMA release. Thank you.